All right, if you're watching this, that means I decided to go ahead and publish this. This is obviously Jonathan JG Smooth Goodo with the fresh cut. Gonna way the fresh cut. I know we haven't done a vlog here on the channel, I think, since like the failed spring game of 2022. Maybe asking, okay, it's been over 2 years. Why are you doing it now? Because we have a first in the 7 years of the podcast. I have been generously invited to cover the road game with our dear friends Chris Brannick, Mr. Todd Listenby, Mr. John Fitzgerald. I'm really excited for it because obviously if UCO wins tomorrow, that means they clinch a share of the conference championship for the first time in who knows how many decades. So being able to hopefully witness that moment right there would be pretty fulfilling, obviously. And then we can be able to catch up with the guys after the fact. But I'm really looking forward to really spending time with those guys. Like I've alluded to in past episodes, that's a very underrated part of what I do is a relationship you have with other media members. And so I always enjoy talking to them in a press box. So can't wait for a 4-hour ride. Yeah. So I got to be up there at 7 a.m. sharp. So that's the time I get to work. So nothing really new changes there. So as you can probably hear, it's raining. So it's supposed to be dry though tomorrow up there in Topeka, Kansas, which is very good. So I just got home, got off work, long day. I'm gonna go hit a shower, go get some food. I think there's supposed to be high school games because the rain right now is kind of beating, so I don't know. But I think there's Sapulpa and Sand Springs, and then Putnam City West and somebody. So I'll probably watch those with the with the old man, and then I'll get back to you all later. Show you kind of how I prep for the games, which in my backpack that you see in like every single picture, because it's on my back, obviously. And kind of like walk you through that there, my process and how I record. It's changed some since the last one. Some has and some has, so it's just good to show you my process. I'm all about full transparency here, and you probably noticed, okay, Smooth, I see a second window behind you. So this is clearly not the same car that you usually drive. You'd be correct. I still have the G6 that's currently in the shop getting some much needed TLC. I have a new car I purchased it. You follow me on social media, Instagram, Facebook. I bought it back in July as a birthday gift to myself. And it's a Chevy Malibu. I like it a lot. As you know, it's good on gas. Weird because it's modern. It's not an '09 anymore, and it's a 4-door. So kind of had to get used to that. So I mean, I enjoy it. It's what I drive now on weekends. We use the G6 more to commute to make the bread, as the young people say, and then we break this out on the weekends. Usually, if it's sunny and dry. Okay, if it's not sunny and dry, or if I'm not leaving the Moore area, then well, we just don't. But otherwise, it's under car cover, so it's nice and clean. But anyways, I'll get back to you all here momentarily. Well, not momentarily. Momentarily. Cue the transition. Okay, so I have eaten, showered, been restored. So this is for fun part here. The what is in the East Sport backpack. So, deodorant in here, lotion in here. In here we've got chapstick pins, cough drops. I think another tiny notebook. In here we've got mask, another notebook. I can't buy 3 notebooks. Might be a little bit OP, but it is what it is. This zipper has nothing in it. This one has nothing in it. This one, actually, back. This one also usually has my phone charger, my additional phone or older iPhone I use to record audio. Rarely, I haven't used in like 2 years, but I bring it anyways. I have 2 chargers with me at all times. I'll be bringing my headphones and portable charger with us on the road, so that way, once the game ends, hopefully we win. And we get post game, I can edit that via the phone and get that posted and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I keep all that there. And then here is my notebook. This is where the magic happens. So, this is where the magic happens. This is your standard like 99-cent notebook. It's not special. Essentially, this is where I keep all the notes at. So like when you see the highlight videos, for example, here's the highlights from last week's game, right? So you'll see here, you're noticing a few things. So one, I have the quarter here. And then you're probably noticing like, okay, there's some timestamps and then there's some labels. What does this all mean? So like these, and it's subjective with the highlights. You could say, okay, there could be more, there could be less. Basically, these are all the players I deem highlight worthy from the first quarter, and I labeled them accordingly. So the stamp that you see like here, the 1449 after Jack Puckett's PBU1 is when the play ended. So here shortly when we go over to the computer and I'll show you kind of how this turns into what you see on your tablets and phones and computers every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Chose So Podcast Network YouTube channel, which you are currently watching. Essentially, what I do, I put that when the play ends, so that way when I'm pulling the highlights, I know a rough estimate of the time frame of which the play occurred. Makes editing that a whole lot easier. And then you're probably wondering, why is there a 1 after some, a 2 after some? The best way I can sum this up is, notice how there is a Connor Johnson, or there's a Grayson Miller punt here, and then the Grayson Miller punt here. So to save time in editing, and even when I use these same highlights when I do like the spring preview and season previews, I have like a database of all the highlights of all the returning guys and all the guys currently on my laptop, and so I can just pull it there by just searching, what I have them labeled as, and it'll kind of pull up. So during the editing process, it makes it a lot easier because obviously if there's just a Miller punt and a Miller punt, I'm not going to know which one goes first. And if you watch the highlight videos, you know they go in order of events that which it happened. So I just do that so that way I know which one goes first when pulling them after editing. Because basically what I do is I record the full game and then I chop it up individually so I have those clips. And then basically I just like pull those clips into one video. So it makes it a whole lot easier in the editing process. But I do this for all 4 quarters. And then you'll see here, you see like these little like X's, like here and here and here. Those are just plays that I think could possibly, well, like Terrell's here. This is just him tying Jake Lucas' record for single season touchdown catches. But the rest are like possible teaser, like you see on Twitter/X or Instagram, whatever, or Facebook. They're kind of just like plays I think stand out the most possibly. And then what'll happen is through the course of editing and pulling the clips, I can kind of decide, okay, which ones do I want to? Or in this case, it became pretty easy because obviously we have a game-winning field goal and a 4th down stop and a 92-yard punt return. so it kind of takes care of itself. But that's basically how that works. And then here's how I do my recaps. So as you see here, same as the highlights, first quarter notes, second quarter notes. It's basically like a handwritten drive-by-drive. So when I do the recaps, which I don't know if it's necessary at this point, to be honest, just because my like opening soapboxes sometimes takes a while. You know how I am. So sometimes for the sake of time, I don't want to like do it because I feel like at that point we touched on the big plays and the main things. So basically, I used to do this. Just drive by drive, essentially what's happened, key plays there, notes, possessions, all that good stuff. So this is kind of how I do it. There could be better ways. You could say, Smooth, why don't you type it? Well, I just write faster than I type. So, and to me, it's just easier to go back and like edit the stuff. Like during timeouts and whatnot, or halftime, I'll go back and like make sure that these are labeled right. There should be, maybe there's one somewhere. I wonder someone recently where I crossed it. Yeah, here we go. Okay, right. So like here on the highlights for Northeastern State, what a game that was, right? So here you can see I made some after the fact, right? Like when looking at box scores and stuff. So I'm like, all right, so this I was contributing to, I think it was Daniel Egwis. I labeled it as recovery, which he did recover, but David Williams forced it. So this is simply a David Williams highlight, not a Daniel Egwis highlight. And then here, I thought Lim had made the TFL, but then going back and looking at it, it was actually Jack who made the forced fumble, So cross it out and label it there. So just I go back and double check that to make sure that the proper people are getting labeled. Because again, I use these highlights on further down the road. But this is how I do it. Simple, kind of works. I mean, it works for me. This is probably the 3rd, 4th notebook that I have. in my 7 years covering the shows. So I'm not sure where this starts. It was a Pitt State game of last year. Oh, so this is fairly new. Okay. Okay, interesting. So, yeah, I mean, this is what, 70 sheets? So this usually lasts me about a couple of seasons. I mean, it depends. I mean, it just depends on like signing day and that kind of stuff. Because those take up a lot more notes than what you think it is. Again, I just write faster than I type. So, but that's kind of how that goes, my process during the games or writing down the highlights and recaps. So now I'm going to go over to the computers and show you how this turns into what you see on Wednesdays. Okay, so we're over at the computers, and I say that plural because here's my laptop that the magic happens on. Here is the second monitor. And again, nothing's changed with the setup, right? We still got the dry erase board with the roster on it. It's encapsulated by the acoustic foam. Again, you can get this pretty cheap off of Amazon for like $10, $12. And then we have the Ring camera here, and I still have my same mic. So basically here, what this is where the magic happens. So the main things that I use are OBS. This is how I capture the games. So what I will do, as an example, for those that don't know OBS, it's a video capturing software like off your computer. So what will happen is I'll open it up. Yeah, it's opening. It pulls on this screen. Oh, mind me later, as always. And so basically what I'll do, as an example here, we'll pull up this. Okay, so here on the screen, say I had the video I want to record of the game, right? So I'll capture that. I'll have that going. Over here, I'll start recording. And typically what happens is it captures the game, sound, audio and all. And what I'll do, usually during road games, I have 2 accounts on the MIAA network. So I'll have it going at the same time on this computer and another computer which I actually watch the game on. And then that way when the game ends, I just simply come over here and stop the recording. For home games, I usually have to come home and then start the recording. So usually, I mean, games are what, 3 hours, anywhere from what, 2 hours, 45 minutes to 3:30 or 4, depending on, overtimes and whatnot. So sometimes it doesn't, it doesn't, I don't get to do the highlights until like the next morning. I try to do it like before I go to bed, just because it's fresh in my mind. But that's how that works. And then here is what I use to edit the video. It's a software called Filmora. It's basically like a Windows version of iMovie. It's very simple. Again, I'm not making cinematic masterpieces here. I'm not the other Jonathan. I'm not Mr. Richardson of J-Rich Productions, right? Like that's not me. I'm not Livingstone Media. I'm not Lethal Shots, right? You do not come for me for for cinematic masterpieces, right? So basically this is what I do. Like I said, it's very straightforward. I think I pay this a yearly subscription instead of monthly. And so yeah, it's your standard editing software. You pull your clip here, and then you edit it. You can cut it and whatnot. Very simple, very straightforward. The editing process takes roughly an hour or so to pull the highlights. And then after that, editing the highlight video itself is like 10 minutes. Tops, I'm just like throwing clips on there. It takes longer to export than it does anything else. That's that. And then for my audio, like you see on the weekly podcast, is through Adobe Audition, as you can see here. This I pay monthly, yearly, possibly. I don't remember. They take it out of my account, so so I don't have to worry about it. But again, this is what I learned on. Shout out to Dr. David Nelson there. This is how I record the podcast. Very simple. I have some presets saved. Makes the editing job a whole lot easier, a whole lot more streamlined. The actual editing process takes maybe 10 minutes tops. And that's with cleaning up the loudness and such. So it's very simple. I mean, it's easy to use. It's not I mean, you can do with that as you please. Then I was talking about my databases. Is nothing too in depth. You can see over here, I have folders. So we've got like QB highlights, running back highlights, receiver highlights, D-line, linebacker. I just combined DB, and then team, which is like any kind of like fourth down stop that wasn't one specific guy. Special team plays were there. That's where I keep all the clips. And then what happens is once the season ends, I'll make a separate folder, and I will put all the all the graduating players, their highlights in one folder labeled 2024 seniors. And then that way I have that. So like if, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 years from now, say Jacob Delso wants to come, like, hey, do you have that one-handed touchdown catch I made against, what was it, NSU or Northwest? I can say, yeah, bro, and pull it for him and send it to him. I've had guys come back for that. And then also at the end of the season, you can see here I have like the folder of the completed stuff. I actually need to move this over here. I don't know why that was not moved. There we go. And I will also put that on a hard drive, flash drive, clear that off to keep this from running out of space. And then here you can see I have the full game of the Langston game. Basically, this is for the Bronco rewinds in the off season. I capture the full games and I just like delete, go back, edit, get rid of the commercials and half times and stuff like that. So that's basically what we do. This is the preset I use for the podcast. I found it online, took some digging, but I like it a lot. And then over here we've got like my outro music that you see when I stream. There's some files there. When I was putting sound beds underneath the highlight videos, that was there. Just various files and logos and whatnot. But it's basically how that works. So yeah, this is the setup. Nothing's really changed. But kind of how that works. On this screen when I'm recording, I have a separate tab open. I can show you, I guess, right quick. It'll usually have, so this here is just a playlist of full college football games. Because when videos are uploading to YouTube, it won't upload if your computer's asleep. So it's just a way to make sure that computer doesn't go to sleep. And then I'll have like UCO tab open with the box score from the game. So like in this case on Sunday, it'll be the Washburn game. Then I'll have Emporia's box score up from their game. And then I'll have their roster up, and then I'll have their season stats up so I can look and tell you height and weight and eligibility of players. And then after that, I have tabs of NSU and Lincoln, since we do keep tabs on them of their schedule. And then we have the MIAA calendar and standings. So that's basically how this setup is. It's, like I said, it's not too in-depth, but it's better than it has been in quite some time. So I am quite proud of it. But yeah, that's basically how that goes. There's a note card here. I keep notes on it. I keep cough drops around here as well, just because, you know, you never know allergy season and whatnot. So that way I don't have to really break stride and go grab one that's right there. And then there's obviously a pin there. So yeah, that is how the setup works. So that's all for today. I guess we will see you all in the morning. All right, morning, good people of Chelsea Podcast Network. It is roughly 6 a.m. It's too early for this. We're about to head to Edmond. You see there's a nice little dew on my car. Like, this is the car. You all can see it, but it's pretty clean, I think, though. But anyways, we're about to head towards Edmond. I'm gonna stop and get some gas, get a banana or two. So that's where we headed. We'll see you momentarily. We pulled into the Shells because we had to get the breakfast of champs. 2 bananas, get that potassium up. You know, that's where we are here. Probably wondering why you're smooth. You're at half a tank. Why aren't you getting gas? Well, I'm gonna get gas Sunday because you know I'm gonna be all full again by the time I drive to Edmond and back. So we're gonna just wait. I'm gonna go ahead, eat these potassium builders right here, breakfast of champions, and then we're going to mosey on down to Edmond as it is roughly 6:10 a.m. So got about 50 minutes before I have to be there, and so you know, I'm usually Usually early anyways, so it should be light traffic. So I'll see you all when we get to the Performance Center. Okay, we made it safe and sound to Edmond. As you can see here, I'm in the Sports Performance Center. I just saw a dear friend of the podcast, John Fitzgerald. Oh, this is Chris Brannick. All right, yep. So we about to hit the Dusty Trail. I will see you all when we get to Topeka, Kansas. Oh, getting stiff. Oh, must need a pit stop.
It's blocked. It's blocked. It's blocked.
You think it's blocked?
It's blocked.
So it comes down to the end of this. And that hurts.
Holy crap. That's recording too. Oh, this is wild. This is truly wild. This is truly, truly, truly wild. This is truly, 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 truly wild.
Do what you can to stay ready.
And now I have to ask a question because you had a touchdown run against Langston. I was up there saying, "Oh, this man is gone," and I'm like, "Oh, he's not gone." Sir, how did we house that?
My legs feel a little heavy from doing squat this week. Gotta pick up my knees. I'll get with the running backs coach this week, and we'll do some drill.
I'm joined by UCO senior defensive tackle Zane Allen. I mean, not Zane.
Oh my God!
Okay, wait, cut. No, you mentioned a few guys, like one right there.
They got that dog. Shows you UCL history, man.
One right. All right, it is 10:46 p.m. We've made it back to the Ponderosa. It's been a very, very long, very emotionally draining day. It's one I'll definitely never forget. Hadn't really sunk in, honestly, until the drive home. As you've seen probably in the blog, we celebrated. I probably put some clips in there of some interviews, and we stopped and we ate. It was overall a very memorable, enjoyable day. And again, I appreciate the guys that brought me along today. It's truly an amazing experience. But when I think about what I think about the most and what maybe had me tearing up the most then and maybe now, is just thinking about all the guys that came before this team in my time covering that laid the groundwork, specifically the 2022 team. I've always said that's my favorite team because they weren't the most talented. They weren't the deepest. They weren't the fastest. They weren't the strongest. But what that group did and set the tone, right? I think when I look at you pinpoint what's the foundation of what we've seen this season, you have to go back to that group. You have to can't help but think of guys like Dante and Johnny and Trayvon, Steph, Lane, Rob, Mike, Marlo, Jason Harris, right? I mean, you look at all those guys that if I fully believe if they didn't set the standard for what effort should be out of a UCO football team in the Allen Durrell era, we're not where we are here. And so I just hope those men know that they played a really big part in this moment, and they should be proud of their efforts, because we would not be here without them. I'm just happy for those guys, especially those seniors. Obviously next week's senior day is always a bittersweet thing, because I've been blessed to get to know a lot of those guys over their years. Guys like Dylan Buckheit, I've been watching him play since his junior year at Moore High. So it's just things like that, you're happy for him. It's also kind of sad because it's coming to an end. But it really, again, words can't really describe, what I think we're all feeling right now. I'm sure they can, maybe, I don't know. It's very very humbling. The kind words that I've seen on Twitter/X, and the families that have come up and talked to me post game, and coaches, players, it really means the world. Because you pour so much time and effort into something, and it's not understood why. Maybe sometimes, right? People ask, why you do this, cover somebody else, and I always say, there's no other team. There's no other program, no other group of men that I'd rather cover, experience the ups and downs with over these 7+ years, than those guys down in Edmond. The way they truly embrace me, make me feel like I'm part of the team. They always support, no matter how critical I might be. And it's just that's very rare, to have that mutual respect, because I'm a fan of those guys and they're a fan of me. So just to see their joy and have them share those moments with me, it really means a lot. I think everybody knows, like, as you can see here, I wear my emotion on my sleeve. So, like I said, it should be a great day. Every UCO alum, every current player, former player, no matter if you played 1 year or 6 years, right? Like, you should all know you played a part in this. You look at a lot of these key guys were signed under the previous regime, so you have to give former head coach Nick Bobek some credit. It's a great day because, right, I think, it's just a long time coming, and I'm glad this group was able to do it. I'm glad I was able to bear witness to that in person, and I'm just humbled that I've been blessed with this opportunity to cover such a great program. So, it's 2:52 now. I'm wrap this up. I gotta go shower. I gotta start editing the post-game interviews, and then it's probably too late for me to record the full game, but record in the morning, and then pull the highlights and get that ready, and then I gotta do another emotional video because I did get the list of seniors, so I gotta make that. That's gonna be bittersweet as well because, like I said before, cool part of the job is you get to know the guys, right? Bad part of the job is guys are only here for 5 years, so those years go by quick. So you can expect that a lot. I don't know how much. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get a lot of footage because stadium music, and I don't know if YouTube will copyright strike that, claim that, whatever it is. So, but if I do end up posting this, I hope you all enjoyed. But it's just a great day to be a Cho. It's a great day to be a Cho. A great time to be a Cho. And I couldn't be prouder to say I'm a UCO Bronco. So again, I appreciate you all dearly from the bottom of my heart. As I put in that tweet, it was very emotional when I sat down in that Washburn press box with the Cho Show hat and the Cho Show shirt. Just thinking how far we've come as a podcast, as a brand. Since I started this on a whim, and it never ceases to amaze me, the heights that we keep raising to. So I sincerely appreciate you all. I know this is not possible without you all, and so I just hope that you continue to support. And again, just you ever see me, feel free to talk. I always enjoy talking. I always enjoy meeting, because like I always say, without you guys, I'm just a guy rambling. So I truly do. I truly appreciate it. But I hope that you did enjoy this vlog. If I do post it, hopefully it kind of sheds some light about how I do things, and this pretty cool experience. So as always, roll shows.